It is extremely cramped in here. All right, mic check. Mic. Pull up the script, and we're live, right? No. Hey, everybody, this is On My Screens, a podcast where a man and usually his wife talk about the media they be on. My name is T, and today the topic of the show is, I guess the main topic is going to be Black Widow by Marvel Studios. Yay, everybody. Cheer. No, never mind. Anyway, but before I talk about that, I want to talk about the shit that I've been on. So if anybody wants any recommendations on what I've been watching, then here it is. What I did watch, I watched 3 different things. Because I try to do some anime because I've actually been watching Naruto. That's probably the biggest thing that I've been watching. I've watched the most of. Yeah, man, it's actually really good. Like I mean, I've already been watching Naruto like for 4 years at this point. But the fact is now I'm actually trying to get through it. And basically, what happened was whenever I watch anime, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but like I grew up with Toonami. You know what I'm saying? So whenever it comes down to watching dubs versus subs, it's kind of dubs all day. Only because I can go like wash dishes. I could be playing on my Switch. I could be doing all sorts of little different things other than just having my focus, squarely intent on the stuff that's happening on the screen. But whenever you're watching dubs, you gotta really, really pay attention. And I have a real big problem with paying attention. I literally have to if you know anything about Sage mode, I got to get into Sage mode in order to watch anime, especially with my son and, all shit that's going on throughout the day. So whenever I'm watching anime, I kind of like to be like by myself because otherwise it's very difficult for me to kind of watch him and watch the anime and kind of take notes and all that kind of stuff. So, and Naruto's a million fucking episodes as well. So it doesn't really help that everything is that I have to read everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually trying to figure out how to do that without that. You know what I mean? Like, if you know what I mean? I don't want to sound fucking corny or like a fucking weeaboo. And be like, hey, I'm trying to learn Japanese, but literally I'm trying to learn Japanese just so that I can watch anime. And I want to visit there, all that kind of shit. It's a whole nother thing. But I digress. Naruto's getting good. It's been good, but I'll tell you this: on Hulu, they have like half of the show is in Naruto Shippuden. Whatever. It is half in dub, half in sub, and now I'm on the sub part. So I stopped watching because I ran out of dub, basically. And I know that it's in English somewhere. I just have no idea where. Probably on Funimation or something, but I know it's like a Viz Media production. It's not Funimation, so I don't even know. I wouldn't even know where to find English Naruto, but I'm watching sub. I watched Demon Slayer subbed. I watched Ragnarok subbed. I've been watching everything subbed because I'm trying to immerse myself. I'm trying to brain soak the language as much as possible and with varying results. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, watching that. Just finished the Pain arc. I guess Madara's next. I'm not even sure who's next. Like, I'm literally like the last episode of Pain, and basically the way that fight ended, I guess it had to kind of end like that because initially though, I was reading online that Pain apparently is the best villain of Naruto Shippuden, and I really don't want to keep saying that word because I'm afraid I'm fucking it up, and like I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the fact is I've been watching that shit, and they said that Pain is the best villain, and I'm like, well, he didn't even fight him really. I mean, he has all these different little bodies and shit, and he beat all of them. And then got to the main one and then kind of just talked him down. Was like, hey, if you could just like give everybody their life back. And he's like, all right, cool. I got you. Like this world will know pain. And now I think that you're going to be the only one that can bring peace to this world kind of thing. So, go ahead and do that. Bring peace to the world. So I'm going to bring everybody else back to life. I don't know about your city though. I kind of fucked that up, but whatever. So, and then he flies off and does whatever shit. I don't even know at this point. But I know they're back on the mission to go find fucking Sasuke because I think who is it? Somebody's looking for him. It might be Danzo. somebody's looking for Sasuke, and they're trying to, I don't know, they're trying to make him pay for his crimes, which I don't know if he's done any crimes yet, but I know he kidnapped the Eight Tails. Or he tried to, didn't really happen. So that was that. I watched this really cool movie called Primal Fear. Now, I had seen this movie a long, long time ago whenever I was like a kid. Stars Edward Norton, Richard Gere. Richard Gere plays a lawyer, and he has to defend a guy that he seems to be a little slow. And he apparently murdered this priest. Nobody's sure if he actually did it. Richard Gere doesn't think he did it. He's also his lawyer, so I mean he's kind of partial to defending his client. So he has to go through that. It's a really good movie. It's a nice little mind bender. Whenever a couple of little twists and stuff. Just me saying that there's a twist is kind of a spoiler, but the fact is there's multiple twists throughout the execution of the plot. And yeah, it's really good. Like if you haven't seen it, go out and check it out. I think I watched it for free. Not really for free, but I think I watched it on Amazon Prime. It's on there. If you ever want to look at these movies, I always try to watch movies that are free to watch. Like if you listen to any of our Beast Wars episode on our podcast for On My Screens, then you'll see that we watch Beast Wars, which is on Tubi.tv or tubitv.com. I can't remember the exact website. It's in the description. But that's where we watch those, and we'd like for you guys to join us on that because I enjoy it. And whenever I say free, I mean ubiquitous free, not free in a literal sense. You know what I'm saying? Because like everybody has Amazon Prime, everybody has Netflix. Try to keep it to those sites, or literally the sites that are like I said, like Tubi, where they just have a bunch of free shit on it. And maybe I watched Primal Fear on Tubi. I think it might have been. So it has like commercials, but it's something that you got to deal with. No big deal. Number 2, been watching Handmaid's Tale. I don't know why I'm watching this shit, man. This is depressing. The show is actually pretty good. The only problem I have is like with the lore of it, because I feel like it's going too fast. Like the way that women have been subjugated, and not really women in general, but women, the handmaids, the way that they've been subjugated so quickly just doesn't seem to make any kind of sense. But it is, I don't know, I guess it's possible. You know what I'm saying? But the show's pretty good so far. I'm like halfway through the first season, so I'm going to keep watching that and see where that goes, because that's actually one that's just interesting. It's interesting to me. So that was that. Handmaid's Tale, pretty good show. What else? I got the Forever Purge. Me and the wife went and saw that one, and I would kind of wish she was here to speak on it, because if anybody doesn't know, she is ethnically diverse. Let's put it like that. So she might have a better opinion on what that movie was than I would, because it seemed very what you call that? Like it's very on the nose with what it was talking about. Like the subject matter of the show or of the movie was very on the nose. It was very like it had a decent message, but the message was basically white people are bad, and we need to open up our borders where we can only be saved by Native Americans. Like there's some stuff in there where it's just like, oh man, these purge movies are getting kind of crazy. Like or not even crazy, they're getting less crazy and they're getting more socially conscious, I guess, but I don't know, it seems forced. And what was funny is whenever we finished the movie, there was a guy that was sitting down below us, and he had one of those shirts on that was like, out of my cold dead hands, or American first or some shit. Like, he had one of those kind of like very right-wingy ass shirts on, and he's watching the Purge movie expecting, I would assume, some sort of I don't think he expected the commentary that the fucking movie presented. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was him, I'd probably be kind of mad about it. You know what I'm saying? I was only mad because there's only one black character in the movie, and he just kind of pieced out, like, I don't know, 10 minutes in. You know what I'm saying? And but I didn't have to see a whole bunch of black people dying. So, that's always awesome. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare. Speaking of which, watching, actually, I wasn't watching anything. I don't think I've seen anything with black people getting killed recently. Shit. But yeah, Forever Purge. I recommend it if you like Purge movies, because I mean, shit, there's like 5 of them now. So go ahead and watch it. It was it was alright. You know what I'm saying? It was just because I can't remember what the last Purge was. I think the last Purge was with the politicians, where they were trying to kill the politicians. Well, this one, they decide to keep purging past the Purge, which that's kind of the escalation of where you would think the Purge would go. I figured that would have happened pretty quickly, because once you've got all these people out there with, like, you know, fucking miniguns and shit like that, how do you stop that? You can't stop trucks full of miniguns just because everybody goes, all right, woo, got that out of our system. Like, no. There's people that are going to be mad all the time. So it's like, I don't understand how you can't have the Purge just every day at that point. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it is what it is. The Purge, you know, don't think about it too hard. You know what I mean? But respect your elders. I think that was the theme of the movie. That was the main thing that we should take away, is that we respect the people that came before us, right? That's the only thing I can really think about. Other than you know, just white people are bad in general. Or at least that's what the movie's trying to say. I'm not saying that. That's what the movie's saying. That's what go talk to the director, man. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But then again, you know what? The white people had redemptions, and one of the white people was married to like a Hispanic man. So, you know, just like everything else, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't even have to think about it, because he can't be racist because he has a black friend. Like, it's clear as day that you cannot be racist if you have somebody of another race in your family. It's like 100%. I mean, but he was also treating him bad. Never mind. You know what? If I keep thinking about this and I keep talking about it, then like the logic of what I'm saying, it just starts to break down. And I don't want it to break down. I want it to be as clear and concise as possible. White people are not evil. Okay? Quote me on that. But in the movie, you know what? I think this is an attack on masculinity as a whole. And then, you know what? Let me stop, because if I keep doing this, I'm going to actually start talking like that. Oh, shit. Almost doing my mouth. And last but not least, you know what I'm saying? Because I think my last episode was way too fucking long. I think it was a little rambly and shit. But this is the moment you've been waiting for. And it is I don't even want to call it a review, but because it's definitely not a review. But it's just my opinion on some shit that either I liked or didn't like. And hopefully soon we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming. And maybe with a little bit more. So who knows? Whatever. We are talking about Black Widow. Oh yeah, so Black Widow. Now here's the deal. I'm gonna go non-spoilers, right? Non-spoilers. I think I'm gonna try this, but I'm gonna talk about the pros first. The things that I did like. I like the performances. Okay, so David Harbour, Scarlett Johansson, both great. But Stranger Things, he's great in Stranger Things. He was great in this. I actually really liked his character. He was funny. He had some of the best lines in the movie, especially when he's talking about fighting Captain America. Like, that shit is dope. And anything in before that or after that, you know what I'm saying? He's just a good character. The action set pieces, I really like the action set pieces. Like the 4 to 5 times that there is an actual action sequence, they're all shot really well and they're executed really well. And it seems like a lot more scaled down than what we've been getting from Marvel. Like, I don't know if anybody ever noticed, but like in Black Panther, there's like, I think 2 scenes, maybe 3 in Black Panther where Black Panther is actually Black Panther. All the other action set pieces are either Killmonger or it's them fighting, you know, in the waterfall, like trying to establish who's going to be the Black Panther. So the actual, you know, Black Panther parts are few and far between, and they're fleeting, and a lot of CG, wibbly wobbly, you know, long-legged, you know, punches like this and shit, like, you know, that kind of shit is going on. So, you know, not a fan. You know, you can miss me on that. I've said this before whenever I did my Chadwick Boseman episode, that the show, that Black Panther as a movie is probably one of my least favorite Marvel movies, only because of that, is because there was a lot less Black Panther and a lot more Like I said, Killmonger and them fighting Mandingo style. So, it is what it is. But the plot and everything was really good. So yeah, those are the pros, performances, action set pieces. What I was neutral, I got neutral also. I said that the movie was quippy, and I kind of expect that from Marvel movies, but for whatever reason, I really didn't feel like this fit in this movie. Like it's real jokey, and I don't know if it's just the jokes themselves that are just not funny or the way that they're executed. Like there's a part where Black Widow's sister, Florence Pugh, she's talking to her and she's like, hey, why is it whenever you land you always do the superhero landing? And it's like, hey, Deadpool already did that joke. Like he did that joke like 3 years ago, right? Like where you land and then you land on your knees and then flip your hair. Like he did that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand why you're still on that. Like that it's been, I don't know, it's just been done to death. And that's Scarlett Johansson's like thing, is to wrap her legs around somebody, do one of those lariat flips, and then land and then flip her hair back up. You know what I'm saying? That's her thing. She's been doing it since Iron Man 2. You know what I'm saying? That was 2010. So like she's been doing that for 11 years, and we're making a joke on it 11 years later. Like, come on, dude. Like, at least with Captain America, it was like, hey, they brought in, what was it? I remember in Age of Ultron, it was like language. They did the language thing, and then in, what was it? It was Endgame, I believe. It was like, that's America's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so off the wall that it's funny, and it's like, it gives you something to kind of work off of. But if you're using like cliches and stuff, then it's like, yeah, superhero landings are a thing, and like why are we talking about it like this? Like this is corn. So anyway, that's neutral. Like I said, it's quippy, but it's a Marvel movie, so I kind of give it a pass. But I also don't give it a pass because, like I said, it's not funny. Like most of this stuff isn't funny. Like whenever funny things are happening, you kind of don't expect it. So anyway, let's get on to the cons. So the cons: Florence Pugh, who is the actress that plays Black Widow's sister. I don't even remember her fucking name. She is a spy that didn't ever defect. So I guess Natasha, she defected. She never defected, and she's just been an assassin this entire time, right? So that was one thing I didn't like about Florence Pugh. Like I actually like her. I've seen her in I don't want to say this word wrong again, so I'm gonna do this. Midsummer. One of those is gonna be right. So, she's in it, and she's a good actress. She has this accent. It's just a very stereotypical Russian accent. So the Russian accents throughout the movie, those are kind of one of the things that I was just like, man, this, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe because the Russian accent comes with a certain sense of like toughness, you know what I'm saying? So you don't expect them to be kind of jokey and stuff. It's kind of like watching John Wick, and you listen to them talk, and like these guys aren't playing, you know what I'm saying? So whenever like a little bit of a joke kind of cracks through, it doesn't fit the mold of what you would expect from a bunch of not even Russian like mobsters, because you would assume that they would joke amongst themselves, but like these are like Russian assassins. Like these are trained killers, you know what I'm saying? And they just, the way that they talk is just very, very, very jokey, and everything is left. Everything is left. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I don't know, man. This shit is corny. Like I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. The movie is super exposition heavy. Like, there's so many scenes in the movie where, like, people are sitting there and, like, they're, like, flying a helicopter, and they're just talking. They're just blah, 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 blah. Like, I cannot believe that you would leave your family. I am actually your family. You are my daughters. I am your father. You know, they're doing that kind of shit, and it's just like, man, like, I guess we got to move this scene along, but, like, I wish there was just a more interesting way to do it, like, because you know what it reminded me of? There's a scene And the scene that I'm talking about is them flying a helicopter and they're kind of getting away from a prison. It's in the trailers if you watch the trailers, and they're just sitting there talking, and it reminded me so much of the Justice League. Like, there's a scene in the Justice League theatrical version. I haven't seen the Snyder cut because it's 4 fucking hours, and there's a scene in the theatrical cut. I think this was a Joss Whedon scene where they all get their ass kicked and they go back to, I want to say, the Batcave, and they're all just sitting there talking. And what I remember is Aquaman, he's talking, and he just keeps, rambling on and on and on and on and on. And then come to find out he's sitting on Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. And he's just sitting there, and he's like, oh my God, dude, we got our ass kicked. I can't believe that this happened. This has never happened to me before. I don't know about you guys, but I've never got my ass kicked. So what about you? You ever got your ass? He's doing this. And it's just like, fucking wrap this shit up, man. This shit ain't funny. Like, and then, finally he does say something funny where he's just like, you know what? And you are gorgeous. Like, you are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, what is going on with you? And then he pulls out the rope, and it's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. See, that's why that's why he had the thing with the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was talking because of that. Now, that exact scene pretty much happens in Black Widow, and it's just like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, how about can we move on? Like, I don't know. It didn't have the gravitas and the feeling. Like, they start talking about hysterectomies and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, dude. This is like, none of this dialogue fits. I feel like we're going through a writer's strike right now because they fly from place to place. There's no time frame. Like, I can't understand the pacing of the movie. Like, maybe that's just me, and I'm just a dope like that. But like, everything happens in like light speed, where like she calls this guy, he's got a plane for her. He calls this guy, and then he's got a boat, and then he calls this guy, and then like next thing you know, she's like across the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, the time just doesn't seem to match up. Another thing was the villain was whack. Like, the villain was whack. I'll talk about that in a few. And then there's a big thing of, or there's a large sense of, I wrote, good thing that was there. You know what I'm saying? Where, like, say somebody is falling off of a building, and like, they not even falling off a building, they get thrown off a building. And whenever they get thrown off a building, they look down and there's like a flagpole, and then they fall on the flagpole. It's kind of that kind of situation, but even more far-fetched, where it's just like, dude, you got thrown off that building. So that means that, like, if you were at the top of a building and somebody threw you off, you would continue to fall this way. You wouldn't just go, whoop, you know what I'm saying? You would keep going away from the building. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a physics fucking professor, but that's how it seems to work, right? So it's just odd that this shit happens. The villain was whack. He was super terrible. And then the villain that they teased is in the movie for 2 scenes, and then they just get no screen time, and they're one of the cooler villains of the Marvel, I don't know, B team pantheon. You know what I'm saying? So, I was just hoping for a lot more of. I'm talking about Taskmaster, of course, because they get the biggest shine in the movie. So yeah, that's spoiler free. Would I recommend this movie? I do recommend this movie only because it's a Marvel movie, so I know they got something planned for pretty much everything after this. What I will say is I really wish that this movie would have been a TV show. I think this would have worked a lot better as a TV show with the quips, with the time scaling issues that I've been having, like I said, and the actual execution of the storyline between Natasha, her sister, her mom, and her dad. Mom, dad, sister, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish that would have been, fleshed out more, because I'll tell you this, I was looking forward to the Black Widow movie last year, and of course it didn't come out because of COVID. So whenever this did come out, I was just like, oh man, we got another one. And I was expecting, like, especially at the beginning of the movie, I was expecting. So from now on, I do recommend it. Go ahead and watch it. But spoilers from now on. Okay, so here's the deal. I expected this movie to be more like Jason Bourne. Like, I expected this to be like the Bourne Identity, kind of like serious fights kind of out of nowhere where, like, you know, and it's super small scale because she doesn't have the resources that she did whenever she was an Avenger. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was hoping that this movie was going to be. But it was just, everything was really big. Everything took no time to, like, execute. And it was like, I don't know, it just was, the action pieces felt big, but then everything surrounding it felt small. And then it was like, so it didn't gel well with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was and here's the problem, another big problem that I had with the movie as far as, like, the script and everything goes. Like, they were having these moments where they were just talking, and it was just like, hey, so what's the plan? I don't know. I thought that you would be here. And all of this, I'm doing this right now in my regular voice, but just put a Russian accent over everything that I'm saying, and it becomes like, hey, what are you doing? I thought that you would be here. I didn't know that you would be here. How do I know that I can trust you? Because I was going to ask you the same thing. And then, like, you know, they pull guns on each other. This was all in the trailer. And it's literally just like, it's so cliched. If you listen to any of our other podcasts, if you want to go back and listen to fucking the podcast that we did on Ava and the podcast we did on Peppermint, these movies are all three the exact same movie, where, like, this woman has, and whenever I say this woman, I mean Black Widow has a certain particular set of skills. Does that sound like another movie that we've seen before? Without the cool action scenes and the like, I don't know, I don't want to call it dour, but, like, seriousness that I feel like that character deserves. You know what I mean? Especially since she's dead now. Like, you know what I mean? So the movie is like, I didn't know that I could trust you, that kind of thing. And then they go back to, what you call that? Like, hey, do you know what happened to our boss? And he's like, I don't know what happened to our boss. Whenever I got the main thing is they're trying to chase down these vials that can release the Black Widows from their mind control. So apparently Natasha, she only had, like, a mental mind control, but they have, like, a chemical mind control where, like, they've been injected with something and that creates them in, like, zombie mode. That's what Taskmaster is tasked to get, is the actual vials that wake people up. They don't tell you where the vials come from. I mean, I'm sure they tell you, but it's like, it's not important. None of it's important. So, like, you just have this MacGuffin item that Taskmaster has to get. Why? I have no idea. Like, it doesn't gel that they want to keep this out of the hands of the Black Widows whenever it's like, it's not really, I don't know, it's not interesting enough to warrant this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they don't even know where the Red Room is. They don't know where anything is. And man, I'm going all over the place. Let me dial that shit back. It's a woman with a particular set of skills that has to go back into her past and kind of right the wrongs that she did not right whenever she was a Black Widow. Because whenever she was a Black Widow, she was supposed to kill her boss. She didn't kill the boss, but she thought she killed him because she blew up a building with her daughter in it. And of course, they have the scene where it's like, did you check the body? So if you did not check body, then how do you know he's dead? Because Red Room is still very much alive, but I don't know where it is. And then they have to do that shit where it's like, I don't know where it is. Well, then what do? I know somebody that knows where it is. Actually, no, Scarlett Johansson doesn't have an accent in this movie, so I know somebody that knows where it is. And then it's like, oh, now we got to go get the dad. They go get the dad. They break him out of prison. Pretty cool fight scene. You know, pretty generic, though. It's like, it's literally just like, they fly a helicopter in, they land, he tries to use his super soldier stuff to jump out of the prison, doesn't get out of the prison, and she comes down on the helicopter and lands, does her little superhero landing, beats a couple guys up, and then blows something up, and then they both escape at just in the nick of time, kind of thing, right? And then that's whenever they talk in the helicopter for 10 minutes. So once they do that, then they're talking, and then they're like, oh, you know, hey, we're good. I think we need to make it to St. Petersburg. And she was like, I don't think we have enough fuel to make it up to St. Petersburg. Oh, I think that we could make it. And then smash cut to the helicopter crashing. That shit was funny. That was one of the few, like, really, like, like, that shit had me, I laughed at that, like, seriously. But after that, then we had the exact same scene again, where it's just like, okay, well, I don't know what Red Room is, but I do know somebody that does. And then they go back and they find the mom, and she's a pig trainer, and she trains the pigs, and the pigs are actually dosed with the same chemical that uses the Black Widow formula to mind control the Black Widows, right? And she ends up betraying them, so we think. Right, like, all of this is done, right? And here's the thing, and here's a plot hole in that movie. So at that point, whenever they have Black Widow, they have her in the plane. Why don't they just inject her and all the rest of them with the mind controlling drug that they clearly have tons of because they just keep making Black Widow, right? Anybody, like, has anybody thought of that? Like, you have the drug that you use on Black Widows. How about you just use it? You know what I'm saying? And then they pull an old switcheroo, which is fine. I don't know how many times Black Widow's going to pull the switcheroo and electrocute somebody, but, you know, they do it again. They get up to the boss, and of course, he's not dead. You should have checked on my body whenever you had the chance. You know, he does that thing, and he's like, I will control the world with my Black Widows. With basically his network of assassins, he's going to control the world. If this was any more generic, like, I don't even know if, like, I don't know why. And I'm so, like, the reason that I feel like this is because I'm very disappointed in how, I don't want to say how they portrayed that character, because I don't know shit about Black Widow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just know she's an Avenger, and she's, the only time I've ever really seen her, I can't even remember what comic it was. I think it might have been Age of Ultron, but, like, her face is all fucked up. But it's like her and, like, Moon Knight are kind of, like, working together. I can't even fucking remember. But anyway, like, that's the only time I've ever known who Black Widow really was. You know what I'm saying? I've seen her before, but I've never known anything about her comics, like her individual comics. But I assume that they're a little bit more serious than what this movie was. So they go there, and then as soon as the villain, she's in front of the villain, she goes to try to kill him, and he goes, "You're not going to be able to do anything to me. I have pheromones." The pheromones. And I was like, oh, he's probably going to break her nose, or she's probably going to get him to break her nose so that the pheromones don't affect her senses. Like, I wish I was, like, voice recording and, like, being like, hey, I'll bet this is what happens. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, flashback, another talking scene of them going over what the plan is. And then, you know, you son of a bitch, I'm in, that type shit going on. Come to find out, Scarlett Johansson is not Scarlett Johansson, but the mom is not really the mom. She's really Scarlett Johansson, blah, 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 blah. Like, super generic. Like, we've seen this before. And she tries to get him to break her nose. And whenever she does that, now she's free of the pheromones. She beats him up. And then all the widows come in. And then here's the deal. So the boss shows her that Taskmaster is his daughter the whole time. She can mimic anything. I had to put computer chip in her brain.
Okay.
So now we're about to get this dope-ass fight scene where Scarlett Johansson fights the Taskmaster again, because the first time that they fought, it was dope. Like, it was like, oh shit, like, this motherfucker knows every move from every Avenger. You know what I'm saying? They fight for 16 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like, this time I'm like, all right, here comes the minute-long Kiss of the Dragon fight sequence where it's like, all right, here we go. We're about to have Taskmaster, and he's about to leave the room. No, the exact opposite. I guess they subverted expectation. He sends Taskmaster away, and then he stays there and just tells his entire plot to Black Widow. And she's sitting there like, I can't believe that you would do this. You know, doing that type of shit. And it's like, man, this sucks. Like, what is this? Like, and then Taskmaster goes and fights David Harbour for 8 seconds. You know what I mean? While the mom is in there hacking the computers that she created. Like, it's I don't know, dude. Like, I'm so disappointed in this movie. Like, and look, the reason I don't like doing this shit is because, you know, I can't make no fucking movies. You know what I'm saying? But nitpicking the generic nature of this, and I've seen so many, not really reviews, but people online talking about how they like the movie. Now, I haven't watched any reviews. I want to watch them after I not after I post this, but, you know, before I post this, and after I record this, I want to watch some reviews. But the fact is, man, if people are liking this, and they are not having the same type of like reaction. I'm just like, man, am I just being the asshole here? Because I don't understand how you can look at this movie and then look at something like I said, Peppermint or Ava, where it's just like this is like the same, twirly mustache villain. This secret agent has to go back into their bag for something that they left in their past, and they, now it's come back up. And this is done in the least creative way that I've seen, outside of whatchamacallit. But I'll bet. Let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now because I don't want to. Let's check out the Rotten Tomatoes just to see, right? Black Widow, Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see if I'm crazy. I'm not seeing anything. All right, let's see. Yeah, so it's got an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh. 92% audience score. I guess I'm just a fucking contrarian, but I swear to God, this is like, I'm not feeling it, man. Like, god damn, like it really I don't know, man. God damn, I feel bad for not enjoying this, like, because it just makes me feel like a I don't know, misogynist or something, a misogynist. But man, this was a slog, man, and it just reminds me of John Wick, and like I hate making that comparison, but like John Wick, everything in that movie just kind of just kept going. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of talking. It's just like, it's an action movie. Let's go. But it's not a spy thriller. But neither is this. Like, it's not a spy thriller. It's literally like, I remember at the end of the movie, there's a part where the Red Room, which is a big floating fortress, is falling. It's falling because, like I said, the mom was hacking all the engines and shit like that, and she blew it up. So it's falling out the sky, and like, our protagonists are on the Red Room, and they're trying to get off of it. And like, as the thing is falling apart, like I said, there's a bunch of like, good thing that was there, like, oh, good thing that was there. Like, they're running off of like this platform. She jumps off, lands on another platform, and then chases after the main villain. And as she chases after the main villain, look right there. There's a parachute, and it's just like, what? Like, how's there a parachute just right, like, just on the edge of the walkway, like on the runway? Like, there's just, like, where you launch planes off of, there's just a parachute right here. Like, it didn't show them set that up before, or like, it just 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. 92% audience score, mind you. I'm just a crazy person, apparently. Like, this was so not good. I guess it was just, because everything was bigger that it makes it better. I don't know. I have no idea. I did not expect an 81%, but I don't think it deserves it. I don't think, like, 81% of people actually like this movie. You know what? I guess I didn't nah. This shit was generic as fuck. Like, it was like, I'm trying to backtrack and backpedal on the shit, but like in real life, nah. This shit was you can't watch this movie and not look at Peppermint and Ava and be like I'd be mixing up my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be remiss, you know what I'm saying, to not mention the fact that these are the same movies, except this one is done so poorly. John Wick is the same movie, but it's done at such a clip where it's like, we understand everything that's going on. Everything works in the movie, and it's super small. Like, everything is super small. But everything is big, but then they go to like these real small moments, and then it's like, y'all are, oh man, this is what wrap it up, man. Like, we get it. Like, I know somebody, I don't know, but I know somebody that does. You know what I'm saying? And then smash cut to the dad. All right, we get it. Like, there's no need to have this weird reunion and then start talking about how they all got hysterectomies because they were all secret agents and super spies or whatever. Like, it's like, what do you, is this just like girl power or something? Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand what what was the purpose of that? And it just didn't gel with everything else that was going on. Like, at least they didn't call her a fucking, what'd they call her? I think she called herself a monster in one of the movies just because she can't have kids. And I was like, okay. Like, once again, that was serious, and then they played hysterectomies as a joke. Like, they're like, oh yeah, and they come in and then they take everything and then rip everything out, and we don't know how to. And I'm like, they're literally, like, I don't know, man. Like, then maybe I'm too sensitive, right? Like, maybe I'm like, why are they joking about hysterectomies? Like, that's not, I don't know, that's not, I don't feel like that's funny. Like, am I tripping? Like, these are the things that people, like, they rail against. Like, they rail against, like, downplaying women's reproductive health, and they're getting praised for it. Like, I'm the only one that sees this or something. Like, I just find it, I don't know, man, I find it problematic. And I don't want to be like that black dude that reviews all movies. Like, what is it? He reviewed, like, Toy Story 3. He said that shit was trash. I can't remember his name. It's something white, but it's a black dude. I don't want to be in that boat, but I really wish this movie was better. Or I don't even want to say it. I wish this movie was better. I wish I liked it more, but it was so. And I feel like I've detailed the reasons as to why I feel like this shit was just generic as fuck. Like, it just wasn't what I expected, and it was. I don't think it was a good send off for the character. Now, with that being said, it was the send off of the character. And we had a post-credit scene with Valentina Fontaine, who, once again, she's been in the TV shows. So, she's been in the TV shows. I think, what are the TV shows? We've had WandaVision, we've had Loki, and Captain America Winter Soldier, right? So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, whatever. With all three of those shows, she shows up in at least one of them. I think it's just the one. I think it's just Captain America. But she gives the U.S. agent, who I didn't even know who U.S. agent was. I knew U.S. agent from, what did I know U.S. agent from? I knew him from Marvel vs. Capcom. You know what I'm saying? He used to be this alternate skin for Captain America. So, but anyway, U.S. agent, she's trying to create the Dark Avengers, right? And I've seen the Dark Avengers before, but you know, I'm not familiar with them. You know what I'm saying? But she's in the movie and she's in the shows. This is, I don't know, that connection felt like it should have been more. That's why, like, I don't know, it just felt like all the stuff that happened in the show in the movie should have been on a TV show, and I feel like they would have done it better. It would have been executed better as a TV show, especially with all the dialogue. If you want to have the dialogue, first of all, the dialogue wasn't interesting. Like, just like, it was literally a bunch of, I don't know who that is. Did you check the body? Oh, you didn't check the body. So you always know that you double tap all of your kills and you confirm your kill. You know, that, like, dude, has anybody not seen one of these movies before? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. 81% That's crazy. They totally, I don't want to say butchered Taskmaster, but, like, they definitely could have done more. And you could tell from the beginning shot, whenever she fights Black Widow, it's like, oh, she's formidable. Like, I wish that there was more of that. Like, just sucks. But that post-credit scene, it sets up, I guess, what Florence Pugh's character is going to be doing, which is she's going to be going after Hawkeye, which absolutely not. Like, if you know anything about Hawkeye, man, like, he's not the one to be played with. Like, in this movie, they get captured 3 times and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's no comparison, especially whenever it comes to at least him and whoever the Florence Pugh character is, because in this movie, hell, we don't even really get to see her killing anybody outside of mind control. Clint Barton is a murderer. Like, Clint Barton he's a hitter. You know what I'm saying? That would be the last guy you want to go head to head with. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude, especially, like, go read Age of Ultron. The first couple issue, or the first issue, whenever he has to go save Spider-Man from the Owl. Like, is that who it was? I think it was a fucking owl. He go watch that shit, or go read that shit, and, like, you'll see what I'm talking about. And yeah, I want to say he's an Old Man Logan too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. Just go. Clint Barton is nobody to fucking play with, especially whenever he's Ronin, like he was in Endgame whenever he fights fucking Scorpion. Like, go watch that shit again, and just, this motherfucker's coming at motherfuckers with a sword. He don't even have his bow and arrow at this point. So, like, don't play with this dude. And, I mean, it's just like U.S. Agent. Like, come on, dude. You're not Cap, and you're not, it's not going to be a good time if you try to run up on any of the Avengers. Like, you got real lucky. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't understand what it's just, I guess it's like the Suicide Squad, in a sense, except less jokey bullshit characters and more established characters with more famous counterparts. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. I mean, literally, they're just making a Suicide Squad movie after Suicide Squad. Can't wait for that movie to come out. Probably give you another review for that one if this video, if anybody watches this. But yeah, that's it, man. I really didn't like this movie. Like, shit. I'm in it. Like I said, it hurts my heart to see it because this movie was so fucking generic. It was one note, and that note was the Tetris theme song. Like, and I'm like, this is all over the place, and I'm not feeling it. But 81% of people liked it, so go fuck yourself, T. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I really don't. But I know what I like, and this ain't it, Chief. Let's do better for my sake. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the episode. Let me see. I need to find my motherfucking script. Let's try it one more time. Thank all the fans. Find us at onmyscreenspod.com. Check us out on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at onmyscreenspod, or email us at onmyscreens@gmail.com. Join our Discord. Thanks for listening. I've been T, and I'm out. Peace.